Today is September 12th, 2022. This is a meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Easton Library. I'm Linda Borden, President of the Board of Trustees. We have with us Mary Jane Connor, Vice President, Peter Reed, Treasurer, Nellie Lewandowski, the Secretary, and Kevin Sheehan, a Trustee. Absent are John O'Brien and Patricia McPhee. We also have our Director, Jennifer DiCarlo, with us. Jennifer, are there any people from the public with us?
There are no public present.
So we'll begin with our agenda then, and having no public present, we will skip our public comments. I don't have any additions to the agenda. Does anybody have any additions they want us to add? We make sure we touch base on them at the end of the meeting.
I wondered if we wanted to go to the town board and be part of an agenda in October or November.
Okay, we'll add that and discuss that. Thanks, Mary Jane. Anybody else have anything they want to add to the agenda? Okay, so going on to the minutes, Nellie has sent us all the minutes from the previous meeting of August 8th, 2022. Is there anybody with any corrections or additions for those minutes?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented.
I second the motion. Kevin seconds the motion.
So the minutes from our regular meeting of 8/8/22 has been accepted. We also have received a detailed written treasurer's report from Peter. We will be discussing our budget issues, but for the basic treasurer's report, Peter, do you have anything you wish to explain in detail from our regular report?
Not really. I mean, we got money, we got, actually, if you look at so far this year, we're ahead by, was it almost $38,000. But we got, 3 more months. We got October, November, December. So some of it will be spent, but still probably gonna have a positive balance.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Peter about the treasurer's report?
Nope.
Can I have a motion to accept the report as submitted by Peter, please?
This is Mary Jane. I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
And a sec-
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Nellie. Nellie seconded the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? So we've accepted the treasurer's report. For old business today, we have been informed by SALS about cyber liability insurance being something that they have gotten for themselves as a SALS Institute. They've recommended the positive benefits for libraries. Peter's been trying to investigate it. I think we're just interested in a discussion now, Peter, what you found out, trying to educate us on it. If anybody else knows anything about it from any of your business dealings or anything else that you're involved in, it'd be great to have an open discussion about this, because I think most of us aren't very well aware of what this is all about. So, Peter, over to you.
Well, thank you. Just what I needed to. I got in touch with Castle Agency, which is our insurance agent. They don't have cyber insurance. However, they found another insurance company, and it appears there's a limited number of insurance companies that have cyber insurance, offer it. So Castle agents sent me an application. I filled it out. I sent it down to them. Actually, I physically dropped it off down there at Castle. And I'm waiting for a quote coming back. From what I can read, it looks like it's just a liability insurance policy. In other words, if somebody steals our records, you know, somebody gets, let's say one of our employees' social security number gets stolen and they come back and sue us, that would be, we'd have liability for something like that. That's my understanding, but I gotta do some more research, to find out.
Anybody else know anything about this or have figured out anything about it?
Not I.
No.
You know, I was wondering if this type of thing also covers you if somebody holds you hostage. You know, I've heard about schools and hospitals being, you know, their records are stolen. They can't work their elevators or their operating rooms or anything.
Like a ransomware.
Yeah, ransomware, you know, I don't know if it has anything to do with that at all, or it's a totally separate thing.
It
So-
may. It sounds like something that may fall under cyber insurance. But then again, I'm looking at, you know, I think cyber insurance is more oriented toward big libraries like Glens Falls Library or Saratoga Library. It's not worth their efforts to fool around with Easton Library, I don't think, but you never know.
Yeah, unless they could use it to get into like the whole of sales, that would be the issue, but I don't know.
Yeah.
There's like 5 firewalls on the public computers side. And that goes for the circulation computer. I think it'd be very difficult. We're
Now,
pretty well
emails.
protected.
Emails we send between Easton Library and Sal's, is that secured by Sal's, or I don't know if there's anything.
Well, each staff member has to sign a security policy. So each
Okay.
staff member is responsible for their email security. So I'm thinking that if there is a breach in that, it would fall on that individual because they have to sign the agreement every year. So if something happens where they share a password or they break a privacy rule that, and they're sued, I think that they would be responsible because they've signed this agreement with JA. I don't know how that would fall on Easton Library.
Okay,
I know when Peter and I discussed this very briefly, he did give me an example of what he thought the liability might be if somebody broke into our system, stole somebody's social security number of one of our employees. That person then lost a lot of money because they were able to break into their bank accounts or whatever. And that employee then in turn sued us because our security was lax and we were breached. This liability insurance would then possibly cover their suing of us. Which I really didn't understand what this whole thing was about until he explained it in that manner. So.
And that information is kept on the treasurer's laptop. And the treasurer usually keeps the laptop at his house. That's not kept at the library. So we don't know what our treasurer's protection is as far as his internet goes. But how do we know if somebody driving by his house, you know, is gonna sit outside his house?
they drive by my house and sit outside, I'll recognize it because I'm in the middle of a hay cow pasture, really.
Yeah. And here we are talking on a public venue about.
Things, yeah, but it's, you know, I mean, it should be an open discussion, you know, we're trying to figure out if this is something worthwhile or not. So I'm not feeling any pressure to make any decisions at this point. I don't know if any of you are. I think Peter's investigating it. Right now, he has to find out what it actually costs and what it actually covers. And then at our next meeting, hopefully he'll have that and we can talk about it again. And see, add that to our repertoire of knowledge.
Sounds
Alright.
good.
Okay,
Sounds
All
like a
right.
plan.
I'll continue searching.
thank you, Peter. I appreciate you looking into this new world, brave new world here. And so Nellie, we'll just table this discussion till next time then.
Got it.
Okay, the next old business on the agenda is upgrading routers. And I think Jennifer, you're going to be able to speak to that mostly.
Yeah, after I put that on the agenda, I was like, I don't even know why I put that on the agenda, because the upgrading of the routers is kind of at a standstill until that Sal's can get the money set up. And then my understanding when I spoke to Chris Mundell from Sal's is that it's going to be like a 6-month time frame before we actually get the routers, and then they have to be installed. So, it's because it's through a grant. All this takes time. And there's 32 libraries, and some of those libraries are probably getting more than one router. And so I think we should table this discussion again until it gets closer to installation.
Okay, that's great. All I have to report on it is that I did send the paperwork that Sal's required from the Easton Library for them to go ahead and fulfill the requirements of the grant by having our paperwork signed and forwarded to them. So I mailed that out the day after our last meeting. So we should have fulfilled all of our obligations towards that grant writing for the routers at this point.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Oh, all right. So when the routers come, you can tell us all about it, I guess.
Yes.
And then library building update, Jennifer.
So, good news. With Mary Jane's assistance, I was able to get in touch with Mr. Domer, and he will be at the library this Wednesday to take a look at the issues that we have, the vines growing into the chimney and the tree that is on the southern side of the building that has vines growing into it. And it's actually, Mary Jane and I looked at it closer. It looks like it's one tree, but it's split into 3 sections. We're thinking that should be removed because we'll get more sun from the southern exposure coming in the window there. And it's it's like right up against the window. And it's got the vine in it. And it's kind of a mess, but we'll see what Mr. Dolmer says. And then we really need those trees, those, I don't know, the shrubbery that look like pine trees, but I don't think they are, but they're just growing into the walkway and the lights in the front door. So they really need to be trimmed back. So Mr. Domer, like I said, will be there Wednesday, 11 a.m. And if any board members would like to join us, that would be great. Peter said that he would be there, but the more the merrier.
Well, that's good. I'm so glad he's going to come and, try to make sure the building isn't being overrun and that the vines aren't destroying the brickwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, any more conversation about that? Anybody who can join Jennifer and Peter, very welcome and appreciated if you can go there and just lend an ear and discuss with him whatever he is gonna recommend. Next, we should be going to new business, but I see I skipped the report, our director's report, Jennifer.
Oh, that's okay.
Um,
You can skip me.
I don't know, boy, wasn't on the list here, so I just skipped over it. But I think probably we do need to do new business, which is accepting our budget and reviewing the budget, but maybe we should hear your report, just in case anything that you're saying has any impact on the budget.
Okay, I don't think it does, but this will hopefully be brief. All right, on September 29th, Lisa Boyce will be at the library giving an information session on foster care. This will be an outside program that will be held at the library. Thursday, September 15th at 6:30 p.m. I'm going to be holding a program committee meeting. So if there's any board members that would like to attend, that would be lovely. And I'll be sharing the results of the programs and event survey that Chelsea helped us do. And there's lots of ideas and wonderful survey results. So I think it'll help us with our programming.
What
Did you-
time?
Yeah.
It's Thursday, this coming Thursday at 6:30 p.m.
Did you
Thank
get responses from other people, Jennifer, about whether they were coming?
I got 5 responses and 2 said yes and 1 said maybe.
Okay.
So, and I sent out like 40 emails.
Did you
So-
send one to Joy Monroe?
I did, and she's one of the
Right.
people that will hopefully come.
Good,
So
good.
tomorrow night, I'm gonna send out another reminder to people. And I posted it on Facebook and Instagram this evening, this afternoon. So, you know, I'm slowly getting it out there to remind people.
Are you, on Wednesday, is this Wednesday a reading story hour day?
Story hour begins, so I'm gonna post that too to remind people.
I was thinking some of those, but they're probably all moms. It was always me and like 30 moms at story hour. So there's probably moms on that. There might be moms on that
That's a great idea.
are interested in doing it too.
A great idea. Okay,
If there are any dads, you can ask them too, but
okay, all right. Sometimes there's dads that come, but it's infrequent. But it is nice when the dads come. Let's see.
I want to just, I won't be able to be there, but I hope that Joy will bring up like the date, like having Paul Rosenberg and having the dance maybe this fall or something like that.
That is on the list.
Good,
Yeah, that is on the list. Folk dancing is on the list.
I'll be there, Jennifer. So
Wonderful. Okay, thank you, Kevin. Not that I'm sort of giving you a preview, but I had an extensive conversation with Joy. Her daughter, Heather, is very interested in homesteading. So she might want to start up a homesteading group. So I'm gonna see if that's a separate thing that we can do, maybe monthly or bi-monthly. So that I'd like that to be a regular thing at the library, but I'm gonna see if Heather is even interested in doing something like that. So I think that people might wanna do that. So,
I do too.
yeah,
Jennifer, does homesteading fall under our 5-year long-term goal of agricultural / farmers? That
Yes.
part of that goal?
I bet it does.
sure it does.
There we go. That would tie in nicely with
Yeah.
that.
It does, yeah, I'm sure, absolutely.
Okay.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
so back to my director's report. So, yes, back to Story Hour. It will begin Wednesday at 10 a.m. So Nadia is very excited about that. And on October 18th, there is going to be a LARAC grant seminar. So another outside program is going to be held at the library in our meeting room. As I put in my director's notes, we were having trouble with the mobile printing. So I'm very glad that I got that straightened out. And now we have mobile printing again as a service to our patrons. And I have posted the new email address on our website. And I've made a new flyer, and that's in the library.
That must feel good to have that resolved.
It does, because it's been many years that it's been frustrating.
Yeah.
So, but we
Yeah.
found out that the printer that it was going to, you know how technology is obsolete after a few years. Well, the printer it was going to no longer services HPE print. So I think in a few years, our printer that it goes to now is going to be obsolete. So then we're going to have to get a new printer. But can't worry about that now.
The system is rigged.
Yes, it is. It's very rigged. Now, this is very important. Dan Shaw from the town of Easton sent a formal letter to the library for a budget request for 2023. Dan needs it for review no later than Friday, September 16th, which is this coming Friday. And I have the letter at my desk that we need to fill out and hand to him. So whoever is responsible for that, please see me so it can get to Dan promptly after our meeting.
And Linda, if you need that, like I know you're busy this week. If you need me to deliver it and put it in your mailbox or make it easier for you to sign, I can help with that. Because usually you're the one that signs it.
I
Yeah,
don't know if this one needs a, let's see, I have it right in front of me. Look at that. Let me see. There is nothing on it for a signature. It's just a plain piece of paper. It's very strange. And it's got a budget request with a little box. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh,
And we just have to fill in the little
Okay.
box.
So Peter can do that. You know what I was thinking it was? I was mistaken. I was thinking it was a contract.
right.
okay.
I'm I take that back. So it's,
What I was,
No.
what I was thinking of doing is, I'm gonna meet Jennifer at 11 o'clock on Wednesday to look at, the tree guy, meet with him. And from there, assuming we approve the budget tonight, I can walk it over to the town of Easton and drop it off. I'll
That's-
find somebody to give it to.
yeah.
That sounds perfect, Peter. And I recall that little piece of paper. I thought it was very odd too. I did it last year and it's just two little boxes that you have to put numbers in, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give him a copy of our budget too. Because I know Dan was looking for a copy of that last year. I think we just filled that form out. And he said he'd like a copy of the budget, so we can give him a copy of the budget.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, and one final thing on my director's report. I forwarded everyone the email this afternoon, but in case you didn't get it, the governor will not be extending the state of emergency. To adhere to open meeting laws, all library board and committee meetings must be held face-to-face and open to the public. If our board has approved a virtual meeting law policies, so for extraordinary circumstances, we can use that policy, but please remember a quorum of trustees must be present at the face-to-face board meetings or committee meetings. So that is it for my director's report.
Okay.
Now, Jennifer, I got
Yeah.
a question. I got a couple questions. On your notes, you talked about computer EAS 205, that's been freezing up. I wanted to note that the laptop, the treasurer's laptop, if I shut that off, I have trouble starting it up sometimes. It takes, several
That is
So-
probably because of the Windows update. So what you are going to have to bring it to the library so that I can have the Sal's dudes work on it. They can do it. I think you might be able to do it remotely if you're at the library, like if you drop it off for like a Wednesday or something.
Yeah. Well, right now I solved the problem. I just don't shut the laptop off. So as long as I don't shut it off, I can just get back in there. But what I'm afraid of, if I shut it off, I'm gonna have, all of a sudden one time it's not gonna start up. So
Yeah, well,
also, we were
Okay.
talking about getting access from that laptop to your printers in the library. Did you ever do
Oh.
anything on that?
well, I can't until I have the laptop. Like I need the
Well-
I need the laptop in the library so that it can remotely attach to the printer. So I need to talk to Sal's, their tech department, their computer support to see if, I'm sure that can be done, but they're gonna need the laptop to be accessed.
Okay, tell you what, I'm gonna be up there Wednesday. I'll bring the laptop with me.
Okay,
It's just I cannot do any upgrades to, record any bills being paid or anything else, as long as you got the laptop.
do you know what
So-
what is it, LAP or EAS? Do you know what the number
Yeah.
is? What is it?
Oh, hold on a minute. I gotta go find it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, maybe I got it. LAP 102.
102, LAP 102. Okay, and you said that it shuts down on you? Is that what happened?
No. If I shut it down, like they recommend, you shut the computer down, overnight if you're not using it. The next day, if I shut it down, I have trouble starting it up.
Okay, starting it up, okay.
I gotta try, I hit that start button several times, So,
Okay. I will send this to them tomorrow night, a message.
tell them you'll have the computer Wednesday.
I'll have it Wednesday. Okay, got it.
Okay,
right.
thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, we've been having a lot of trouble with computers lately. The circulation computer was out of use most of this afternoon because of Saturday's power outage. We had trouble with the printers and I had to call computer support and they spent most of the afternoon working on it remotely and they still couldn't finish the problem by the end of 4:30 when they left for the day. So Dave McFarland said that tomorrow morning they were going to check it again to see how it was doing. So I hope by the time we get there tomorrow evening, it'll be fixed. But I told him, I said, well, this is the computer that needs to be replaced the next time we do a computer order. But I don't know. It's just, this one is really giving us trouble.
It's too
That's
bad.
such a shame. Terrible.
I mean, it just, see, the thing of it is these take so much time. It's like, it's like Doris doesn't know how to do any of this. And, Annalise or Barb, so it's usually me juggling all this other stuff with the computers. And it's like, and it's so time consuming. But
It is.
But I'm
I
just
know.
so grateful that Sal's has an excellent computer support. Because
Yeah.
we'd be up the creek if it wasn't for them.
Yeah,
I know
Yeah.
that like the system really, that part of the system is, we just could never pay for that type of expertise.
We
So,
couldn't,
Right.
no.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, Mary Jane, as both Peter and Jennifer were talking about these different things, the routers and the computers.
Mhm.
And, We have in the past hemmed and hawed about, should we always order things from Sal's or get them on our own? And of course, ordering them and letting them put it on the system has really been so beneficial for us with repair and updating it. Yeah, I think we've gone the right route with buying things through them. I really do.
Mhm.
Makes it possible for little libraries to keep up.
Yes.
It does. It does. It would be impossible on our own. So thank you, Jennifer. And if there's no further questions for her report. A very busy lady. And of course, we've all seen her written notes and know that they're 10 times longer than what she's just filled us in on. So been terribly busy like always. Thanks, Jennifer. Really fabulous job of keeping everything up to date. Wonderful. And so we should work on our budget now. Peter has sent us a copy of the budget that he and Jennifer worked up for our review and discussion.
Before we move there, Linda, can I just add something before I forget? And it's something that we might just have to talk about in our next meeting, but the sexual harassment training, like we all have to individually, staff and board members tend to our sexual harassment training. Okay,
Mhm.
Okay, I can put, I can put that down at the end for agenda, added agenda talk.
okay. Thank
All
you.
right.
Otherwise I would forget it.
Okay.
Not-
So,
It sounds like I'm saying, I should say prevention of sexual harassment. It sounds like
I
I'm saying-
know, I
You don't
remember.
want us to go through training for it?
So,
Yes.
excuse me. I don't mean that to be humorous.
I'm gonna
but-
add that in the notes.
But I know it was when they first developed that, it was very difficult for them to come up with a title for it because it always sounded wrong. It just always did.
Mhm.
So, Peter, because I had trouble getting on, I had your email with the budget earmarked on my other computer, and now I'm trying to find it on the laptop. Do you know what date you sent that to us? I want to look at it while we discuss it, and I can't pull it up. Does anyone have it?
I'm gonna look it up.
It
yeah.
was August 23rd.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It was a joint project, Jennifer and I. I want to share the credit or the blame, whichever way.
Okay, so we should, well, and do either of you want to talk about it first, or do you wish questions?
One thing I could say, income is probably low. We'll probably have more income just because we don't put, we don't put donations in there. We don't put grants in there. Certain that we can't guarantee we're going to get are not listed in there. But the other numbers are fairly safe, that 73,473 is a good conservative starting point. We'll probably get more money coming in as the year goes on. However,
Okay, and it should be noted that as far as not listing the grants are 100% wash. If they come in, they're totally earmarked for a program, so they don't ever add anything towards any of these other things. And you're right, as far as donations, one never knows if we're going to get any, some, or a good amount. So it's very hard to budget for that.
well, keep in mind too, the grants, any grants we get in, usually that grant numbers are gonna be going against what our expenses are. Like right now, we've got, equipment, which would be computers. Well, if we get grants, we could get a grant for like 2,000 of that. So it's not necessarily additional money coming in that we're gonna spend. It's some of the money will probably go against these expenses.
Okay.
just to let you know.
Any comments about our budget proposal? Or
Um,
question?
One, I appreciate, I looked at last year's budget and this year, I appreciate that you both doubled the cost of utilities, given what probably most of us are paying for electricity and whatever else we use to heat.
Mhm.
But under the education and training I didn't see anything of that in past budgets. Have you had expenses for that, and is $50 enough? I don't think it needs to be a huge amount, but I just didn't know if there were things that I just simply don't know about.
So Sal's offers like a grant, or at least they did in the past, for education and training. So I know when Linda and I went to a conference a couple of years ago, we applied for a grant that paid for our admittance to the conference. Peter thought that since the staff, not the staff, the board members needed, it was a New York State requirement this year to add that in, and maybe in the future we could put more into the budget. And we had more in there, but we had to take it out to readjust the budget.
Utilities.
Yeah, we had to.
Thanks for the lights.
it.
That's why I just didn't see it in past budgets, so I wasn't sure if there were past expenses in it. That was my whole question with that.
Well, like Jennifer said, the state is requiring trustees to get training. So if you have to go, like we sent you to Bermuda, to get some training because they got a
Sure.
special training.
There's a lot going on there.
But anyway,
So
All right.
Kevin, very good question. Many of the libraries have education and training for their board members in their budget. We never had extremely healthy budget, your smaller library, so it's never been included. In the past, trustees, if they've gone somewhere, they've paid for their training on their own. We would very much love to have a healthier budget for that. But obviously Jennifer and Peter, had to pare it down to make the budget balance, it looks like. So
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering about it for staff too. I didn't know if the staff member, like Amaris, was going for the notary, and I didn't know if that was something that had been covered before, or how that all got paid for. So that was.
So Amaris, actually, Sal's paid for all of her.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was offered through Sal's, and because she was her first timer, and that was nice that they had that. She had that opportunity to do that.
Okay.
But yeah, this is also for staff. So staff, board. Unfortunately, it's only $50.
yeah,
also keep in mind that our budget, basically, this is estimates.
Oh yeah.
These are not written in stone. We didn't figure it's going to be, like you were saying, we're trying to get everything balanced. So we had to play with the expenses to get them down to match what our income is.
Thanks for doing all that work, Peter and Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
Nellie, any questions on the budget? Mary Jane, anything?
No,
No? Okay, so can we entertain a motion to accept this budget as presented for 2023?
Kevin makes a motion to accept the budget as presented for 2023.
Seconded by?
I'll second.
Yeah, you can't second it, Peter.
Oh, I tried.
Mary Jane seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
I
Any opposed?
can vote to approve it, right?
Right. Right.
And any,
You still,
okay, so we will, Peter, you'll be stopping in the library then and filling this information in for Dan Shaw.
Yep.
This week. Excellent. Thank you so much for taking care of that next step. Mary Jane wanted to talk about, information about meeting with the town board at some point.
So one of the things that I think is really important is for the library to have a continuous engagement and relationship with the members of our town board. And due to COVID, we have not had a lot of interaction with people on the town board. So there's several ways we could do it. We could ask Dan if he wants us to come to a budget meeting. Or we could ask Dan if he wants us to make a presentation at a town board, a monthly town board meeting. Or we could have an open house and invite the members of the town board to come across the street and spend some time with us, you know, talking about what's going on in the library. So those are just 3 possibilities and options for us to give the town board members more information about what's going on in the current library, and just so that they are in a position, if they're asked questions about the library, they know from us what's going on. And
If
this
we-
is something that we used to do in prior years.
I like the open house proposition about them coming to the library. They
If
should
we're gonna
come
do
over,
that,
they should
I
come
think-
over and see our meeting room and take a walk around the library and, you know, come in our doors.
I think if we're gonna do that, we should have refreshments, you know, like
Yes.
maybe some
absolutely.
wine, some beer, some food.
Well, definitely.
Wine and cheese would be good. That
I
would get them.
I like that idea best, but I'm wondering if it's practical, only because it's so difficult to get people together. You know, if they would come for a short period of time in the middle of their town board meeting, they already set that particular date and time aside for all of them to go to their meeting. I think it would be more practical for them to then say, okay, we're going to take a field trip now across the street for 20 minutes, maybe. I mean, I can see them maybe agreeing to something like that, very much similar to like if we're having a library meeting, look how hard it is for even our group to get all of our members together on a night that we plan in advance anyway. So then if we were to ask our members to get together, all of them on another night to go to the library or somewhere else, I'm just wondering if it would work out. I definitely like that idea best because I would love to show off the library. I just don't know whether you can expect them to come out on another night that isn't their regular meeting night.
What is their
Maybe we
regular
could come-
meeting?
The first Monday of the month.
Okay,
Maybe we could combine it where we could have, and we could invite them to come have some refreshments before they have their board meeting rather than take a break. Because I think when they get started and they have other members of the public there, they might not be able to leave, you know, they might not be able. I don't know what their laws are about their meeting, but maybe if we had refreshments before their meeting started, or even before one of their budget meetings, which are more, you know, then they don't have the public. So maybe they could take a break in a budget meeting and, well, the public is invited to the budget meetings. But maybe there's a combination where we talk to them over there and they come over here for more of a refreshment type thing, but with the purpose of actually being in the library and spending some time with us in the library.
yes, yes.
Mary Jane, are you willing call Dan and propose these 3 or 4 different options. You know, us going to a budget, us going to a regular meeting, them coming to us and seeing what he thinks their board would be willing to do, because I think we really have to pursue it. This is probably the 2nd year in a row, maybe the 3rd, that we've had this discussion, and just due to circumstances, we haven't acted on it and gotten ourselves over there. But I agree with you. I think it's imperative. There's new board members that they have that we don't know. And of course, there's our new board members that they don't know. So I really think we need to, everybody put a face on both boards of who's who.
Okay, I'll call Dan and I think I have his cell number. If I don't, Jennifer, I think you do, right?
I may at the library, I'll have to look. Oh, I wonder
Okay.
if it's on this. Oh,
Jennifer, maybe you could email that to her rather than broadcast it.
yeah, that's true. I have it right on his front of his paper that he sent. So I will text it to you, Mary Jane.
I think I have it too. Okay, so text it to me and then I can check and I will do that.
Okay.
That'll be great. Thanks, Mary Jane, because
Mhm.
I really do think it's important. I really would like to see us put that as a priority and get it done. It's important.
Let's do it.
Okay. And then the second thing Mary Jane brought up is preventing sexual harassment in the workplace training.
That was on my thing for next month.
So,
So we can talk about it next month.
No, we should talk about it tonight.
okay. So I think I already sent you mine from Sal's. I think that was this year.
Yeah, I'll have to look. If it's in the binder, yeah.
And if anybody gets that training at work and you have some kind of certificate or notification that you take it at work, you can use that. You don't have to take our training here, as long as you have training somewhere.
You just need the certificate, like I have it through work, so.
Yeah, so you just have to make a copy of it, print it off and give it to Jennifer and she files it that you have had that training this year.
We
Yeah,
still
all-
have that, we still have that training thing that, we've been taking for the last couple of years. What's that?
And you can watch it on the New York State site. You know, you can watch it on the governor's site.
Yeah.
I just gotta find it. Yeah, because I know I took it last year.
Can someone share that link if they find it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I will set that up with the staff and board members. I will get the link and I will, send it.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you could send it to us,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Thank you.
And it has to be completed by, I think, October 19th or something like that.
Oh, jeepers.
So Nellie, it pretty much involves sitting for maybe 45 minutes in front of the computer. That's an estimate. I don't know exactly. And watching, then answering questions that'll, clicking on an answer type of thing, an interactive type thing.
Yeah, I remember. And then I think, did we have to then go to the library and sign off on a piece of paper that we watched it, right? You actually had to like go and, verify that you went through the program online.
Yes.
Okay.
One year
change
we
the
watched it
scenario?
all together and, there's no need for us to come together. Agreed, Jennifer? That,
Agreed. Yeah.
do it when it's convenient to you.
Yeah.
Did they change the scenarios or is it going to be the same video from last year?
It's been
Probably the same.
video for
Oh, really? Huh.
I do the Sal's one because I'm a trustee at Sal's, so I have to do that one. And they changed the videos on that one, the scenarios. So
Oh, do it. That's
to
cool.
watch.
Right, exactly. Make it a little more interesting. Yeah.
Yes. So, and I think we've done, our additional agenda, so, yeah, items. So I think we've covered anything. Is there anything further anybody wants to discuss before we close the meeting? We'll set our next date for our next meeting. Jennifer, is there anything pressing that has to be approved by the board that we need to get in at a certain date coming up?
I think October's coming up. Well, we just have more policies to review.
Well, you can pick another one for us. Goody, goody.
Well, we should probably work on two. We should probably work on the, because I know Peter said it was required by the state that we have an employee evaluation policy. I believe that's what it is. I think that's the one we're lacking. So I will try to, it's called the supervision and performance evaluation policy. So I'll try to look into that because we have to make a new one. And then I'll look over some old ones that need to be updated. So we'll do two.
Okay.
And other than that, I can't think of anything really pressing, but who knows? I mean,
Mhm.
I might get into the library tomorrow and say, oh, wow.
So then shall we set their next meeting for about a month from now?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So it'll be a Monday.
17th.
17th, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The 17th, okay.
This will be live at the library.
Yes.
Live.
Looks like it's gonna be live.
It's gonna be live.
Live, library live.
Crazy.
Wow, it'll be our first live one in
Been a while. Yeah.
Do you realize this is going to be the first time I will have met 3 board members in person at a meeting? I haven't even, oh no, I did have one with Patty once during COVID, yes. But it's just amazing to me.
Sure
Yes.
is.
Be exciting.
Yeah, I think since I've been a board member, I've only had, I think there were 2 at the library. And I think both times, Linda, you've brought a little bit of deliciousness that we had to eat through our masks.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
This will be on the way. Great.
We've been missing out this whole time.
So
Oh,
we'll
just,
adjourn the meeting.
okay. All right.
Sorry.
No,
Good.
good. Yep.
So Monday, October 17th at 7:30 at the Easton Library will be our next meeting. And we'll
Sounds-
adjourn our meeting now. It's 8:34 or so.
Let me find the,
I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? So we're adjourning at 8:33. And so the recording may stop of this meeting.